Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Isaac Butterfield, and I am genuinely worried about the beautiful country of Australia. Gorgeous visually, stunning historically, beautiful daily, and I couldn't think of one for the animals, but they're very nice too. We're in a great spot. We are almost seemingly strategically placed in the middle of nowhere, so no foreign aggressor could ever come near us. Unless it's China, of course, and then we are fucked. But even if they do come anywhere near us, they don't know that we've got a secret weapon.
Very controversially, every single boy from the age of 14 till when he finishes school at 18 will be a cadet.
The Kennedy MP claims arming teenage boys with rifles will teach them discipline and help grow a guerrilla army to fight off foreign threats.
Bob Katter, a member of parliament in this country. A great idea too. Millions of fighting young men. I think it's a great idea, but here's a quick one. What about if we could double those numbers by including young women in the cause?
Answer to your question whether the girls should be in it, right? No, they shouldn't be. You know, it is about time our boys became boys.
There you go, ladies, piss off. But the real reason I'm making this video isn't so much about a foreign threat. The threat that I am worried about, and I think we all should be worried about, comes from within. I feel that the very real threat that we will face comes from the very people who lead us, who are the ones who we elected, and then the power seemingly went to their heads. And by people, I mean these fucking evil magpies that are trying to destroy our way of living.
Guys, we're getting swooped. Oh, fuck! Holy fuck! Holy shit! It fucking touched me! It fucking touched me!
But in all seriousness, we are facing something very real. There has never been a time where the government has been so involved in our daily lives. What we do, who we do it with, when we do it, how we do it, everything at this point needs to be run past the powers that be before we the people do it. The government here is somehow becoming bigger by the day. And I don't believe that they are necessarily deliberately trying to hurt or harm you or me. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. We already saw what happened with Gladys Berejiklian from the New South Wales government. She left under investigation of corruption. And then Bruz, he piss-bolted too. Very interesting times to be a member of the New South Wales population. You don't need a degree in political education or be highly educated at any point to know that if a government who has enormous amounts of power, if they happen to be corrupt at any level, that is a bad thing. Now, I don't believe in my own mind that this is a wild conspiracy theory, that the government is trying to cut the population or mind control or put magnets in us or microchips or some crazy new world order.
Will exposure sites be put back in place, especially with reopening and people going back to pubs and stuff? Because our exposure sites still, will they be put back in place to be listed once we are reopening? Because they're not at the moment.
We will be looking at what contact tracing looks like in the New World Order.
Surely that was just a slip of the tongue. She's not some crazy Illuminati fucking member, is she? No way, that was just, it would never happen again.
This is a world pandemic. It's a 1 in 100 year event. So you can expect that we will have transmission from time to time, and that's just the way it is. We've got to accept that this is the new world order.
Oh, that was the New South Wales Health Minister, Brad Hazzard. Good one, dickheads. I can't imagine why conspiracy theorists are running wild. This is from the same state, New South Wales, that threatens jail time for unvaccinated people entering businesses without a vaccine passport. Given this is for people who are creating fake vaccine passports, okay? Forgeries, breaking the law. But the headline doesn't tell you that, and most people only read the headline, and the media know this, and that's why they do this shit. It's all about fear and control, and that is the point we are in right now. We only hear about one disease. We only hear about one thing. We don't hear about any other diseases. We don't hear about any other deaths or infections. We don't hear about, hey, you know, people, you know, their mental health is deteriorating. And then you have journalists arguing against that, saying, no, more people haven't killed themselves since the coronavirus. Yeah, but the rate of anti-anxiolytics being prescribed to people and antidepressants and antipsychotics has gone through the fucking roof, and yet you ignore that. What the fuck? This is why people question all this shit. And they go, oh, what are the media trying to hide for us? What are the government trying to hide for us? Because you are not being honest. People are scared. Their livelihoods have been taken. Families have been obliterated. And the big issue I have with all of the comments from the media and all these people who are loud voices online, these people have money in the bank. They're not construction workers. They're not frontline workers. They're not these people whose lives and livelihoods are directly affected by job closures and lockdowns. Thank fuck I have YouTube, or I would be fucked as well. 2 years of tours being cancelled. There's $1 million. Done. Gone. I'll be honest with you. $1 million. Out. That's massive. This career of mine's not going to last forever. So I need to make as much money as possible to provide for my family for as long as possible. And the way that this virus has affected everything fucking throws a massive spanner in the works, like it does for so many different people. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my audience here on YouTube for allowing me to pay my fucking mortgage. Since the outbreak of the virus, one of the world's greatest cities, one of the world's most livable cities, has been locked down for a record number of days. Melbourne has been locked down for over 250 days. People locked in their homes, not allowed to go to work, not allowed to see their grandparents or their friends down the road. And I don't think that lockdowns are the worst idea at the start of this. I didn't think it was the worst idea. It makes sort of sense, right? But we know now that we can't live in a world where the virus is at zero, okay? If you want to get vaccinated, get fucking vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. I've had one shot, waiting on my second. I know people will be like, oh my God, you're gonna fuck, your head's gonna explode. Well, fucking so what? I need to go to work. And that's not good either. Coercion's terrible, but what do you do? There's people like foreign students in Melbourne right now who are receiving no help from the government and have to rely on food banks, basically begging on the streets for food because the government won't look after them and they're not allowing them to work. We can't wait for everyone to fucking do one thing, especially when people are hard up against it. You're not going to convince everyone to do it. And furthermore, it's fucking un-Australian. What I mean by un-Australian is this is un-Australian. One building in Sydney has locked its people down and is not letting them buy more than 6 beers a day. What the fuck? Disgusting.
This is bullshit.
Who the fuck are you to tell me how many beers I should be drinking a day? I don't think you should be drinking 6 beers a day, but it's fucking your choice. New South Wales is a fucking mess. We've been told you can't go to weddings or funerals or anything or work until you are vaccinated. And once again, I think vaccinations are good. They have proven to be great throughout history. And whether or not this one is fantastic or terrible or the worst thing or the best thing in the world, we probably won't know for 20 fucking years. But at this point, it's probably the best thing we've got. And particularly for vulnerable people. I understand that people are hesitant to do it because they feel they are healthy. Whatever. That should be your choice. I absolutely believe that should be your choice. And the punishment for not making the right decision shouldn't be you're locked in your fucking house. And what's worse, when you do get the vaccine, you have to run around showing your papers. Like you're crossing a border. It's insane. People's health should be up to them, all right? I'm not anti-vax at all. I talked my grandparents into getting it because they are in their mid-70s and got health issues. They were scared because they, you know, watched Current Affair and people were dying and shit. Other people decide they don't want to do that and that's fucking their call, whatever. Do whatever you want to do. Even then, if you want the vaccine, you have to wait 8 weeks if you live outside of Sydney because no one can get the fucking thing. And then in the daily press conferences, these people who no longer represent us will not get voted back in. They just stand there like a fucking school principal. They tell us what we can and can't do. How about this? How about suck a fat cock? And up in Queensland, their supreme leader, Anastasia, whoever gives a shit. Queensland are in this perpetual state of no COVID up here. There will never be a COVID case up here. What are you talking about? It's a virus. It's like being on the Titanic and being in one of the rooms and sticking sticky tape up as you fucking go to the bottom of the ocean floor. No water's getting in here. Same goes for Western Australia. No one can come in. How, if you don't live in this country, how strict do you think these borders are? Well, I'll tell you. Unborn twin babies die after delay of approving mother's Queensland, New South Wales border exemption. How fucking disgusting's that? What I think is worse than 1% of people dying from this virus, not only the effect that it has on the economy that will be paying off forevermore, is the effect that it has on young people, children, basically everyone. You have young kids who just turned 18, who can't go out and meet boys and girls and have a good time for 2 years. Young people who are finishing off their uni degrees and can't celebrate. All these things that a lot of us have got to do in the past, not being allowed to do them. And it's all these unanswered questions and these wondering moments that we have, multiplied by the fear that is given to us by the government and the media, that ends in protests. Doesn't help that you're making vaccines mandatory in the construction industry in Melbourne, but here we are. People are filthy because they hate being told what to do, and then if you don't do it, you're threatened with a loss of income. What precedent does that set? Do we now have to listen to every single medical update that the government gives us? This was in New South Wales, protesting against the lockdowns. Last week, there was a protest in America for the Australian lockdowns. People are running scared. They're at breaking point. Livelihoods have been destroyed and businesses have been broken. People no longer trust the police, the government, and we are a country in turmoil. The lucky country. We're in fucking turmoil. But all of this, everything that I've just gone through in this video, is blamed by the blue check marks on Twitter, by the media, the mainstream media, by the government, on the people. And that makes the anger worse for the most angry. I understand that vulnerable people will die from it. My gran is a vulnerable person. I don't want her to die. But I am an Australian. So give us back our country, you fucking lizards. In saying all of this, we must remember that the government, the police, everyone who is in charge of all of this are just people. And they're probably trying to do their best and they think they're doing the right thing. But there is one way to fight this, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not. And that's with a new PM. Ladies and gentlemen, I am launching my career as a politician and I will be the next Prime Minister of Australia. Buttsman for PM. Get the t-shirt on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. It's a must-have for anybody's wardrobe. There's only 500 of them, so you better fucking move quick. But if I am Prime Minister, number one, Coke and the bubblers. Number two, the basketball court will be turned into a fucking pool. And for fuck's sake, I'd let people have their freedom like they do in every other corner of the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Me dick stinks. Keep it moist. Toodaloo, au revoir. Bye-bye.